This video is brought to you by my generous backers over on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel and get cool perks like access to the Discord, seeing the videos a week before anyone else, or an entire video dedication, then feel free to check out my Patreon. The link's in the description below. This video is dedicated to Brandon Glazebrook. Brandon, thank you. Kinnan Bonder Prodigy versus Illuna Apex of Wishes. Haven't played against Illuna yet. And for some reason I just cannot get into mana dorks in this deck. I always draw into the big heavy stuff. Alright, well we've got mana dorks there. They're not the mana dorks that we want in the first few turns, but still we will get rid of Wasteland and get ourselves into a tap land on turn 1. Our opponent gets into a tap land of his own and we just get into another 3 mana creature. Well, we've got something to do on the next few turns at least. Let's get down our commander and then we'll probably go for Llanowar Tribe. And now Jace the Mind Sculptor, so even if we don't make a land drop, oh actually we can't go for Jace, we need double blue. Okay, I was going to say, even if we don't get into a land drop, at least we can go for Jace and try and get into one, but no such luck so far, I don't think. We might draw into an island. Guardian Project, we can go for that into Elvish Archdruid, can't we? So, what is this? A Shore Crasher Elemental. Exile it and return it. It gets the buff. Yeah, so it's nothing of too much concern for us. Our mana dork obviously taps for 4 due to our commander. So we'll get down Guardian Project first, and then go Elvish Archdruid. And that will draw us into a card, and we do not get into a land. We've got 4 power, so I think this costs 5, is it? And swinging in with this thing will just take the hit, they can't buff it. So it's just a hit for 3. Lord Drakis coming down now with Outmutate. Whenever this creature mutates, return a target instant or sorcery from graveyard to hand. So obviously they can mutate their commander onto that if they want to. More mana dorks. Let's see here. We can go in for double blue, can't we? With the Maraleaf Pixie. I think we can actually get down the Great Henge first, can't we? That would make more sense. And that way we put a plus counter on the Pixie. And we also draw a card, or a couple of cards with Guardian Project and the Great Henge. And there we go, we're getting to at least 1 land to make. City of Brass. Yeah, we had to tap down the blue to get this in, so we don't have the double blue this turn for Jace. Yeah, I think we're just going to leave things there then. Oh, that's a shame, our opponent decides to scoop it up there. How much is Mutate on this thing? That is 6. So yeah, with another mana, they should have been able to do something. We were drawing into... okay. Endray's Forerunners would have been +2 on everything. I still don't think we could have taken them out. We could have swung in though. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would have gone down. Might have been able to get out Jace as well and look at a few more cards off the top. Yeah, nothing too incredible coming in, so... Not sure why our opponent scooped up there, but scoop up they did. So let's try again. Kinnan Bonder Prodigy, this time up against Karlov of the Ghost Council, a favourite of mine. Yeah, again, not getting into the early 1 and 2 drop mana dorks. I don't know what's going on with this deck, but we've got plenty in the deck. So I'm just going to assume that the shuffle is against us. Let's drop the Helix Pinnacle, and then if we've ever got some leftover mana, we can drop it into that. But that's really for when we've got infinite mana with something like Basalt Monolith. And Helix Pinnacle, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, you can pay X and put X, tower counters on it, and it needs 100 or more, and you win the game. But you have to have them at the beginning of your upkeep. Shadow Spear coming in for Karlov. Yeah, and there we go. Keep getting into the heavy stuff. So how's about... I'm actually going to go in for the Lightning Greaves here, because if we get into a land next turn, then we can go this with haste and get our commander down. And if we don't, then we just get our commander down, so it's no harm, no foul really in that position. Okay, and there we go. We do get into a land. Our opponent went for Tithe Drinker, which already has lifelink, so it'll just be +1/+1 and trample going on to that thing with the spear. So we go Gaia Engineer. We go haste onto the Gaia Engineer and get down our commander. Then we'll put Haste and Shroud over onto our commander, and yeah, I'm not too keen to swing over and trade our opponent. Yeah, here he is, Karlov of the Ghost Council. I'm sure he doesn't want to see Shroud. It's 8 counters, I think. It's 6 counters you can remove from this, so 3 instances of lifelink. Or 3 instances of life gain, I should say, and then they can remove something. Yeah, we really don't want to see trample on Karlov. And then this comes swinging in at us. Yeah, there's an argument to be made for us trading here because we're not really doing anything else next turn. We've got 3, 4, 5 and 6 mana. We're not going to be able to get Great Henge out. Yeah, I think we just take it. So Karlov immediately jumping up to a 4/4. Just decided to get out the Great Henge. We might as well go for Beastmaster Ascension as well. I'm just kind of playtesting the deck at this point, so you might not even see these videos or these games, but yeah, Beastmaster Ascension I'm typically disappointed to see. I thought with a lot of mana dorks we might actually like to swing in, but if I'm just tapping them for mana to go for Kinnan, then yeah, we're not often swinging in, so I think Beastmaster Ascension needs to come out. Now our opponent could swing in with both creatures and go after our mana dork. Jani's Pridemate, that's even more +1/+1 counters coming down. And they've got 3 forms of life gain at the moment if they want to put Shadow Spear onto here. Alright, and going in with both, this doesn't have lifelink, so they're just going to gain life from here, but that will allow them to remove counters, but they don't have enough counters. Maybe they've got a Mox. And I'm just going to take it again and hope that we can grab some stuff off the top. Just thinking to myself while my opponent's playing his turn, I'm thinking that we get rid of things like Beastmaster Ascension and the Enmaze Forerunners and just try and really concentrate on the top ability here. I really didn't want to go Eldrazi, but yeah, I'm not sure what else we're going to go for really. I'll have to have a think about that. So I think we just have to activate our commander here and hope that we get into something decent. What have we got? Alright, a Thunderfoot Baloth is another buff. Incubation Druid is more mana. Let's just go Thunderfoot Baloth just for the sake of having a buff on all of our stuff. We draw a card from the Henge. Concordant Crossroads we can't really do anything with at the moment, unfortunately. And then I'm going to put Haste over there and we will swing in at our opponent. So this is where Beastmaster Ascension might actually come in handy now. It really depends on how much exile our opponent's going to be able to get on us. I don't think they can gain enough life to exile twice, but maybe they will be able to next turn. So now the question is, okay, we knock them down to 19, we might be able to get something going with Enmaze Forerunners next turn. If we go 1, 2, 3 and 4 to get our commander down, then that'll be 3 and 6 mana. We could get this down, that'd be 5 and then 6, 7. So we'd need to play a land and get down the Findhorn Elves, and then we can do this, and we might be able to get a win off next turn actually. I'm going to leave the Greaves on this, just so that we've got as much damage as possible. But we're giving our opponent a lot of haste here as well. I actually misclicked and I got down the Concordant Crossroads instead of this. But yeah, we can just throw it down for the hell of it and hope that it doesn't hurt us too much. We're getting 9 commander damage over to us, which will put us at 15. It looks like our opponent is going to try and outrace us, which they may be able to do. So they get a bunch of plus counters. They will probably be able to do something at instant speed on our turn. They might go for the exile now. got 4 cards in hand, and it's 7 counters we need on this, I think. Yeah, it's 7 counters, so if we can swing in with 4 creatures next turn, which we can thanks to the crossroads, then we should be able to get a big buff, enough to take our opponent out perhaps. Alright, they're removing some counters and going for an exile onto the Biomancer's Familiar, so deciding not to go for our commander, which, yeah, I actually prefer that, to be honest. So I think we've got them here. Let's go for the Findhorn Elves first of all, and that gets a plus counter on it, which isn't irrelevant. We'll go Devoted Druid as well, and we get into a forest, so we'll play that immediately. Play the Elvish Archdruid, and I think we've got our opponent here at this point. Yeah, an Ancient Tomb as well. The Archdruid taps for 4, 5 and 6. So just for the sake of it, why don't we go for the End-Raze Forerunners as well. I think it is overkill, but we'll go for it anyway. So apparently our tactic actually works out quite nicely, but notice how much of a difference getting into all the dorks made. So we get +2/+2 and Vigilance and Trample and Haste on all of our stuff. I don't think Kraytooth Behemoth gives haste, does it? Anyway, we'll swing in with everything, put a bunch of plus counters or charge counters onto the Ascension. And a big thank you to my opponent for playing it out. Yeah, there we go. They jump up to massive power and toughness creatures. And we get into a Krosan Grip that could take care of the Shadow Spear. And there we go. They don't take the damage, but we have more than enough there. So yeah, that actually worked out pretty well. Not too sure if I'm going to keep this tactic in here or not. We've got plenty of low curve mana dorks, but like I keep saying, we don't tend to draw into them for some reason. Anyway, I'll play a few more games, and I probably won't make any changes for this video, but if I do, I'll be sure to let you know in the next one. Let's see, do we have time for another game? Yeah, seeing as how it's a new commander, we'll get another game in, and I will see you all in a second. Kinnan Bonder Prodigy versus Tasigur the Golden Fang. And we have a means of getting rid of them Moxies and Sol Rings and stuff that Tasigur always has with a Reclamation Sage. We don't have blue though, so it is a risky keep. Is that 1 mana of any type? Any type that a land you control could produce, so no, not any type. Let's risk it anyway. We are on the draw at least, so that puts us a step closer to blue mana. Alright, well there's green. So worst case scenario, we just have to adapt the Incubation Druid. Arcane Signet from our opponent. We're not so lucky to get into anything like that ourselves. Okay, more blue stuff with a Swan Song. Why don't we go straight in for a Rex Sage here in the hope that it messes our opponent up? Because they've only got 1 source of coloured mana without that. They managed to get into another coloured source with a Windswept Heath, and then it is an Ophiomancer. That's going to make things difficult for us. Alright, but we get into a blue source, so I think it's a case of going in for the Incubation Druid, and then we can hold up Brainstorm and Swan Song. And I've just looked in the chat, and we have a friend of the channel that we're playing against. N7 Sumbro is a friend of the channel and likes watching the videos, so a big thank you to them for watching the channel. We've got a 1/1 coming in. I'm in no hurry to give them a fresh snake, so we'll take the 1. And then a Putrefy. Do I want to give them? Yeah, I think we need as much mana as possible, especially this early in the game. We're already struggling, so we'll have to go Swan Song on that. And there we go, we get into an island anyway, so why don't we go like that, and we'll get down our commander, and then we should be able to use this to adapt itself, shouldn't we? Yeah, so that's 2, 3, 4 and 5. It doesn't have to tap to adapt, nope, so we'll just hold up some counter magic, or what they might think is counter magic, just in case. They might not play their commander because we've got untapped mana. Here we go, we're going to take a hit for 3. A Dimir Signet, that is alright. I wonder if they're holding up some counter magic for us. Apparently not, they're going in for something. Yeah, they're going for their Tasigur. Let's just tap down some blue. Actually, no, we need green, don't we? Tap down green, and we'll make them worry a little bit. Then we go for Adapt 3, so this will now tap for 4 mana. And they can have Tasigur, the Golden Fang. Alright, training grounds for us. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is 7. So do we just put Nezahal on top? I think we can do that, can't we? So let's tap this down for a bunch of blue. We can go Brainstorm. Oh, we have Prime Time on top as well. Alright, let's go. What do we do here? Yeah, I think I want Primeval Titan on top instead. So let's just go Island and Prime Time. Then we can go Training Grounds. And that makes our commander cost 2 less to activate. And obviously we reveal a bunch of stuff, including the Primeval Titan, which is legal in 1v1. We'll shuffle all of our deck around. And we'll go for Gaia's Cradle. Yeah, we'll go Gaia's Cradle. They've got a tech edge, so that will encourage them to go down a land. And we'll go for a Wasteland as well, because it might be mutually assured destruction. They might not want to tech edge us if they fear going down a land themselves. And then let's go in for a Lightning Greaves, and we'll swing in with this Prime Time. I'm perfectly happy for them to trade Ophiumancer and their Tasigur, or at least risk getting rid of one of them, that is. We get more lands in, where are we? Let's just go Reflecting Pool and Command Tower. Doesn't really matter at this point. There's nothing too crazy with regards to lands. Literally just using it to ramp. Now let's see how they block. They decide not to block, curiously. So now we can probably get a few activations off with our commander. In fact, we can get about 3 activations off, can't we, if we keep the Gaia's Cradle. Going in with the bird and the snake again, so that suggests, and their commander, so that suggests that they might be going after, yeah, and the Ophiumancer, so they're probably going after a board wipe here. So we'll block as much damage as possible. I'd like to trade them the Ophiumancer, but I think there's a board wipe incoming. Alright, search for as counter. Maybe they're just trying to go wide on us and rush us. A Mana Vault as well. Then Cross and Grip onto Training Grounds means that's obviously eating removal, but it keeps our Lightning Greaves in play at least. It might be worth, there we go, so they are going for the tech edge, so probably only getting 1 activation off. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. No, we can still get a couple of activations off with our commander. Might be worth dropping the Concordant Crossroads to get a bunch of, and there we go, there's a land as well. To get a bunch of haste into play. Let's see here. If we go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, not quite enough. Let's see how lucky we are with an activation on Kinnan. Okay, Jiraga Tree Speaker. That isn't particularly good for us, but it is a blocker at least, so let's just go in for Nezahal here. And then we put that over onto Nezahal, and we'll swing in with everything. I think we're going to be able to outrace them, but I'm not sure. Get down the Breeding Pool so it doesn't come in tapped later on when we're desperate for mana. And we'll go for Tropical Island as well. So search for as counter triggers. They're going to take one from the Mana Vault most likely. And it's just a case of hoping that they can't remove the Tree Speaker at this point. Probably should have put the Greaves over onto that actually. A Brainstorm gets them closer to 1. We don't have any free counters in this deck. Alright, and they're swinging in with everything, so no, not everything. They're leaving their Tasigur back. I'm assuming they don't have removal for the Tree Speaker, otherwise it's just remove it and swing in with everything. Yeah, being very cautious, as they should be if they don't have any answers. Then deciding to go in with everything, so we just block the Tasigur and take a hit for 5. And there is our Jace the Mind Sculptor. Could have done with that a bit sooner than now. Let's see here, we go, yeah, we'll go in for our activation on Kinnan. And it's just a Leafkin Druid, so we've hit our big stuff apparently. Let's go after their Blooming Marsh. And then what are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll try our luck again, because I don't think our opponent has anything. So that's 3, that taps 4. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, just even more stuff. Let's go Gaia Engineer. Then we've got 1, 2, 3. We can't tap both of those, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can go for it again, and we probably lose next turn anyway if we can't win now, so let's just try our luck. Alright, Jingataxius is a nice big one to leave back. So just in case they do have some removal that they can cast, we'll go wide with everything, and if it loses us the game, then so be it. We needed to get into something like a Seaborn Muse, really. Say no to the Primeval Titan just to speed things up, and our opponent decides to take it there, so they obviously didn't have anything after all. Yeah, so a big shout out to my opponent for playing it out, a big thank you to them. I'm having trouble getting games with Kinnan because he tends to run away with games if things are going well for you, as we saw there. Yeah, if you can get some kind of haste in play, like a Crossroads or Lightning Greaves, then you can immediately tap your creatures for mana and keep chaining off with Kinnan, as we saw there. So it's not necessarily infinite, but you can get some good value out with him. Anyway, that was your extra bonus game for this video with the new Kinnan Bonder Prodigy. Hope you all enjoyed it, and be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did, to stay up to date with all the latest content and to help me out by pushing videos out to new viewers and potential subscribers. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.